What's going on, people? These are some of my thoughts, man. I wrote this stuff down, tried to get it a little more organized for you to explain some of the reasons, like some of the things that I think, okay? Here we go. How come we stop asking questions? Why do we go to school and agree to remember a bunch of things and recite them as fact? Why didn't you challenge what they told you? Why didn't you decide to do your own investigations? Why did you accept someone's word as fact when in all reality you never tested anything you learned? Was it because so many people were telling you the same thing at the same time until you started to repeat it? Let's just look. The word author, authority, architect, creator, maker. The word author was formed with all of this in mind. The author is the great architect of his work. He is the creator and the authority figure writing his personal story, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. This is how you learn your country's history and world history. Basically, a group of gentlemen got together and exchanged stories passed down through generations of each family. Remember, this happened like way back when they were first creating civilization. So a group of people that all thought the same way in terms of what people needed to learn agreed on a curriculum. The general population is the main source of energy for the nation. The general population is essentially the root system of the functionality of civilization. Controlling what the population learned enabled these world leaders to get the population to do certain things, jobs, to further their own personal idea of how the world should be. Because they pick the curriculum you learn in school, they greatly influence how you live your life. You study from the listed choice subjects that end in the listed careers. Okay? Now, the finer details of how all of this shit was set up isn't important. What's important is that they implemented these systems for generalized population control through government in such a way it created a very deep root system. So deep, in fact, that most of us don't even notice it anymore. We just accept it as common knowledge. This is how life works. This is what I learned. This is what I do with what I learn, even though I don't enjoy it and I feel like I could be doing something else that's so much more enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? But enjoyable doesn't cut it in today's society, Johnny. Don't you see this? You're wasting so much time in doing what you love by writing songs. You could be making money. All right, do this for me. Imagine a world before humans, okay? Imagine the giant trees of ancient forest. Imagine unpolluted bodies of water and intense variety of life forms that existed all before we came. So we came and we take from that old world and we create the new world. Your house, your car, your phone, everything you own basically was taken from old world materials and created into a new reality for us to experience. Okay? In America, we took from this old world, and in some other places as well, but in America, we took from this old world and we made everything into squares. Because nature seems so chaotic, people needed some control and some structure in their life because nature is so chaotic that they started to make things into squares. Like, just think about it. You got square or rectangle houses, phones, computers, cubicles, square feet, square miles, vehicles, boxes, paper, etc. The list just goes on. We think in a box. America was founded by Freemasons. This is basically common knowledge. It's fucking written on, you know what I'm saying, official documents from way back in the day. It's founded by Freemasons, okay? Simple fact. Okay? And the actual arithmetic used to square the circle is also applied to us. Okay? Just imagine it. The circle is you and your infinite possibilities as a human being, your infinite possibilities for your life's outcome based on what you choose to do with this infinite thing. The square, okay? The square is the enclosed pattern that you are given permission to operate that infinite power within. You are allowed to express your true power to a certain point, and then you run into these four walls called society, formed from this Freemason strategy of controlling a large population through law and controlling the learning process of the majority of the youth. The youth, taught by people brainwashed in the same way, go home to parents and grandparents and enforce these rules of the country taught by people brainwashed. It's worse at home because those are your most trusted advisors of your entire life. So it has to be true, right? Problem is, it just isn't. The vast majority of today's Freemasons have no idea why they're doing what they're doing. They're just ignorant. And then the ones that do understand learned it from those before them, who learned it from those before them. It just keeps going back. The point is of saying this is that the only people to blame are the people that fail to wake up and see the control strategies being implemented and applied to their life and do nothing to prevent the spread of the system. AKA, you and I. We have to do something in order to make this stop. So one day our kids don't come up to us and ask us what the fuck we were doing when they were implementing this control strategy. So, the word matrix has a lot of ways to express itself, but ultimately it's our belief system and personal limitations that control the overall outcome of our life. And to realize someone else has been majorly influencing everything about the way your mind works is the start of waking up and realizing that government is mind control at its finest. For example, if you see something you don't understand, you Google it and find your answers based off what is regulated information. You don't perform experiments to generate the experience again on your own. Instead, you take someone from somewhere's word at a glance and accept it as your new reality. Strange world we live in. It's so strange because we started to live through others' words and experience instead of making it a reality for ourselves. You can learn virtually how to do anything online nowadays. You know what I mean? Thanks to the internet, there's all the college books you ever could want online for free, but for some reason you got to pay to go to school and get the degree and shit. Okay? Nowadays, we say, Galileo says the planet's round, so it's round. Or Neil deGrasse Tyson says the earth is flat or pear-shaped, so it is. So-and-so said this, so-and-so said that. Point is, wake up and realize that these men created your reality. You're experiencing your personal reality based on what another human being told you was true. They're controlling how you think and who you are. Okay? I'm here to shake you out of this dream you've been living in. You won't like it. You'll probably attempt to disprove what I'm telling you on some level. Good. Do that same thing to your history books. You know what I mean? You won't like it. Once you start to wake up, you'll realize that you're in a dream and the vast majority of the others around you are still very much asleep in this dream world, metaphorically or literally, however you want to take it. When people say the zombie apocalypse is upon us and you think they're crazy, it's because they're talking about you, and somewhere deep inside of you, something knows they're right. It's just hard to see through the fog that's been pulled over our surroundings. I know. I'll help you get through it, all right? I'm here to help awaken you to reality, like to show you how to uproot your embedded belief systems and rewrite your code. Understand that some people will present you with impossible information, and even if it is impossible, what they're really doing is setting off a warning, letting you know you need to change our reality. We need to think outside of the box, challenge the normal walls of learning constructs, and broaden our horizons and let more of this impossible light enter in through our eyes and allow for change. Okay? The truth of the matter is there is no truth. Everything that you think you know is false. It's a half truth at best. Okay? You gotta start asking questions and learn about yourself. Learn about what makes your blood. What put the energy into you at conception to make all of this possible. What are the planets? You gotta do your own research. If that sounds too hard, all right, start with words, etymology. Learn how language works, how it was invented. Yes, invented. Study writing and how we came up with the English language. Learn that and you will learn about yourself. The magic of writing was passed down in a story by a god named Thoth, the god of scribes. Also taught astrology, agriculture, and many other things. But his crowning jewel, that thing that he passed down was a way for us to record history and pass on vital information to generations to come about the evolution of mankind. The real magic happens when you start to write down words. Example. If you decide to take a shortcut through the grass to get to your destination and someone comes out and yells to get off the grass, you might respond in like just a simple shrug of the shoulder and just keep it going, keep your head down and be like, hey dog, it's a shortcut, I can get through here. Relax, it's just the grass. Okay? But if the person points to a sign that says keep off the grass, this triggers a response in your mind that tells you basically that there could be repercussions, even of like the legal sort. People discovered this shit a long time ago. Now we have piles and piles of paper and writings describing our human rights, telling us where to walk even. Who made all this stuff up and told you can't walk on a certain piece of grass? Oh, if you live here and base your operations on this landmass, you must abide by these rules of control or face the consequences. It's the oldest trick in the book and we all fell for it. And then turn and look at the same individuals that issue this system like heroes. Why do we allow these limitations to work so well? The mind's a powerful thing. Your thoughts can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. We're not taught to generate creative thought process in school. Most is strictly logical and relies on the brain's ability to memorize, which really isn't that strong. The real learning is happening on a different level, a different part of the brain that allows free-forming thoughts that turn into creative processes and expression and ideas in reality. We're taught to stifle that part of our brain and rely on logic. Everyone thinks everything has a logical explanation. Some things don't. Like, why do billions of people believe in a guy sitting in the sky, in a throne, looking down and judging them, and then question if the earth is round or flat? I don't know, ask the guy up there, he can see it. All right. Or like, at the same time, billions of people believe that Neil Armstrong walked on the moon based on shitty CGI footage from the 70s of $60 million go-karts riding around on the moon. The funny thing is, we haven't sent humans to the moon since those space expeditions in the 70s. And the reason behind this is that the good folks at NASA somehow misplaced, lost, deleted, or whatever, all the technical information on the technologies that allowed us to set foot on the moon in the first place. One of the world's most greatest achievements, walking on the moon, we lost all the paperwork for. In the 1970s, we had technology that could get us to the moon, and in 2018, we still can't recreate the technology, even though many of the people responsible for the technology are still alive. Sounds like deception to me, but shit, NASA said it, so it must be true.